Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Nate and I are recording separately for today, so he's going to give you his two picks, then I'll throw in my two player props as well. We also have best bets up as we do each and every weekday, so make sure to subscribe to that page and continue to follow along with us all season. Also head to thelines.com as always and use that prop finder tool that we have up there to make sure you are getting the best odds available to you from all these books giving us bets this season. Let's get into Nate's first two player props for today.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jimmy Butler for the first pick here, and there is the narrative of him coming off the three-game layoff, the extra break for the All-Star break, of course, and then potentially coming back with renewed focus after the family tragedy. But, I mean, really, he just was playing really well for the Heat his last seven, after they had a couple bad games with Terry Rozier being integrated, the last seven with Rozier on that offense. Jimmy averaging 24, 8, and 5.5 assists. That's good for 37 PRA. So I will go over on 31.5 PRA. You can go 32.5 and get better odds. About minus 120 for the 31. But, you know, Jimmy, a little wily. You never know exactly how he's going to produce. Like some games he will give you the rebounds and assists, which I don't mind just taking on their own here. Some games he can fill it up in terms of the scoring. I did notice in his career or even in the last 2 years, let's say, when he gets a little extra rest, he does have a spike in usage, a spike in scoring, 24 points per game. We're looking at about his last five against NOLA. He's averaged 25 a game, 5.5 rebounds, 6 assists with a 139 offensive rating. He'd have won all five. He shot 62%. He's gotten 9 free throws a game, and he's a plus 58. So if you want to correlate this, if you want to build a same game parlay with Jimmy going like 20-5 or 25-5 or something like that. Not a bad play, in my opinion. I mean, the Pelicans are a yo-yo team. They won last night. Of course, they can come back and just completely baffle people and be like, how do they look so bad after crushing Houston? And that's possible. I mean, they are exactly that. They are 500 on back-to-backs. They allow 113, which is more than they do on any other rest situation. They also allow more assists and more points when playing Eastern Conference teams, for what that's worth, and they allow 121 in losses versus 106 in wins. So if you do think they're going to lose and the Heat are going to take advantage of this rest advantage here, especially Jimmy, the extra rest advantage, you know, there's some correlation there to say he's going to lead the way, and that his all-around production is a little more unlocked with a guy like Rozier handling the ball off the bench, or wherever he, you know, fits into that lineup for them. Second pick for me, I will go with the Rook, Brandon Podziemski, who has become a quick fan favorite, friend of the show here. I know Josh will approve of this one because it's the Warriors on a back-to-back, and therefore the young guns are going to get more minutes. We targeted him last time this happened, right before the break, against Utah, and he went for 13, 6, and 8 in 34 minutes. I'm just going to do the points and rebounds here at 18.5 over on that. I mean, he is coming off a game where he only had 1 assist against the Lakers. I think that's more just matchup based. He is diming up pretty well. He's definitely fit into that kind of playmaking role, which the Warriors have needed with Chris Paul out for so extended of a period. But really, I mean, if we follow the minutes here, he's already been playing 32 minutes a game since being inserted into the starting lineup. Clay on a back-to-back, he did play a lot against Utah, which was kind of surprising. But, I mean, hosting Charlotte here, Charlotte's been hot. Like, I don't think the Warriors are going to completely sleep on them, but they are 14-point favorites here. Wouldn't be surprised if Clay plays a few fewer minutes. Maybe even Steph does. And either way, I mean, Podziemski is starting and playing nearly 36. And per 36, he averages 13.5 points and 8 rebounds. He's an outstanding rebounder for a guard, for a rookie. You know, look at his last 10 here being in the starting lineup, 12.4 rebound chances at a 60% rebound chance rate. And he's getting 7.5 boards on that opportunity. He's also scoring 13 a game on 18% usage. The last 5 at home, 3 of them have been against the LA teams. Again, that tough matchup with the Lakers, just because of their size and physicality, and the Clippers, who are just one of the best well-coached teams out there. Also, the Suns, very well-coached defensively. So, I mean, yeah, on the back-to-back, 11 points, 6 rebounds. That is more than he gets on normal rest, and that's over the course of the season. That's 26 minutes per game. So, again, we project maybe 8 more minutes than that, which is what he played last time this situation hit. 34 minutes, got you 19.6 points, rebounds exactly. Looking for a little bit more of a favorable result here than that. Maybe clearing it a little easier against a Hornets team that, don't forget, they are hot for the Hornets. They've won 4 straight, but they had to win in Utah at slight elevation here, fly over to Golden State. This is a home for the Warriors after, Steph carried them against the Lakers. We see Steph carry them one night, then take a bit of a step back and then more of a team-based approach the next night. So I expect Podziemski to come out there and score against a Hornets team that is also very young and starting a bunch of inexperienced guys, a bunch of rookies, especially at the guard and the wing, giving up rebounds down there. So that's why I am going with this one. Toss it back to Josh.
All right, and I have 2 player props of my own here for you. First one I'm looking at is Brook Lopez going over 16.5 points and rebounds for Brook. Got to go back to the big man when he plays against other big men when they need him to rebound. So I like getting the boards in there. It's 5.5 if you want to take an over on that. It's plus 120 as I'm recording this here pretty early, getting ahead of this slate on Thursday night for Friday here. So I would take the rebounds if you want to put a sprinkle on there because you get such good juice. But as far as the points and rebounds go, I like to put both of them together, make sure I'm not missing out on whatever he chooses to do a bit more of in this one. The last 10 games he's gone over 8 times, and it's important to me because that is indicative of the teams that he's playing, and they're similar to this Minnesota team that they're going to be playing here on Friday. In fact, one of those games in the last 10 was against Minnesota, went over this number in that one. The other teams he was playing here, we've got Cleveland twice, the Pellies, Denver, Portland, and then Minnesota, like I said, and Memphis is in there as well, including Charlotte. He went over versus all these teams, had to get in there for the minutes that he was playing, big minutes in those as well, about 28 per game in that time frame, a few more in the earlier games of this run here with the 10 games that he's got. So the rebound chances for him as well is something that he's going to continue to have when he's got big men playing around him. 9.2 in the last 10. Good enough for 6.2 boards. And then the field goal attempts was 11 a game. So, and really more important than that is the 6.5 3-pointers that he's taking in that time, because he needs to pull guys like Rudy Gobert away from the basket, something that we always come back to. So if the 3-point chances are going to be there, as they have been historically when he takes on Rudy, and as I mentioned, all these teams that he's been playing recently with the big men, that's when we look to go ahead and take Brook Lopez. Minnesota, just to be clear, in their last 7 is actually allowing the 11th most rebounds per game. 2 opposing centers, still pretty good against in limiting points. But the points are down to about 11.5 for Brook, normally at about 12 or 13 at times for his points prop. So we can go over that when we add the rebounds as well for 16.5. And the last guy I want to talk about real quick is Gigi Jackson on Memphis. I don't have props up for him just yet, as I am getting ahead of these numbers and lines a little bit as much as I can. So it is a lean that I think is going to be around 15.5, maybe 16.5 points. That might even be a little bit high, depending on how the books treat this. It's difficult for them to project what's going to happen with a guy like Gigi Jackson on a team like the Memphis Grizzlies, because of the fact that they're just throwing random dudes out there at points right at this point in the season. And they have so many injuries that to guys that it's like, are they injured? Are they not really sure? So it can be difficult for the books to go ahead and cap exactly how Gigi Jackson or anybody really on this Memphis Grizzlies team is going to do. I think we can take advantage of that. And if it is at 15.5, I think that usage will continue to be there for him, as it has been really over the last 10, where he's averaging 16.5 a game. In the last 5, up to about 21.5 per game, including 5 boards, looking at about 27 minutes per game. I don't know how you keep this dude off the floor moving forward. Like, he should be getting more than that, honestly. And when he's on the floor, 15 field goal attempts in 27 minutes per game. That's a ton, right? Especially for a bench player. 7 of those are coming from deep, where he's been incredible in the corner 3 and 3.5 free throw attempts per game. Would like that a bit more, but a few of those games he had at least 6 free throw attempts in those games as well. But like I said, if he's not driving to the basket, probably because he's getting that corner 3 with a pretty good look for Memphis, who's always trying to find guys in that space. So the Clippers, interestingly enough, allowing the 9th most points per game to small forwards over their last 7. I would consider Gigi more of a small forward, even though he's about 6'9". He's really big, versatile dude who can't shoot, like I said, from the corner, where that shot profile really sort of tends to insinuate that he is a small forward and should be the dude that's hitting those corner 3s, like I said, against the Clippers, who have actually been in the bottom half defending that shot in their last 5. So I think there's a good chance here for Gigi to get at least 16 points in this one. And that is all the time that we have for you in this one. Continue to follow along. We did those best bets together in one video, so that one is a little bit more normal. We'll be back together here in a few weeks. I'm off next week. Nate will be back. Probably have some Mo Nawara in there for some picks for you guys as well. So continue to follow along. And until we see you next, happy betting.